Good evening and welcome to the return and brand new insightful episode of NTV Seeds of Gold. Mukulike. Well, tonight feels a little special because after some time away, we are finally back, and we could not have chosen a better conversation with which to begin. Now, many people want to venture into farming. The harder question is how to turn that interest into a real business that can grow, withstand setbacks, and make money. To help us unpack that, we are joined by agribusiness consultant Mr. Godfrey Chigoye, who takes us back to the beginning. I'm talking about the principles every aspiring farmer should understand before investing their time and money in commercial agriculture. This show is proudly brought to you by Bukola Chemical Industries Limited, with expert opinion from the Youth Platform Africa.
This is the high time to know the type of seed you are going to plant, where you are going to get it from. There are a lot of bichupuli manipulated seeds on the market. Bajja kutomeza. Sit down. We are here to help you. Call us.
Commercial farming begins long before anything is planted. It starts with knowing what you want to produce, who will buy it, and whether the resources available to you can support it. And as we will learn from Mr. Chigoye, limited space does not necessarily have to keep anyone out of agriculture. What matters is choosing an enterprise suited to the space and approaching it, with a clear plan.
I train agriculture as a business. How can you enter into farming as a business? We have principles that matter. Okay, if you are to enter into agriculture as a business, there are things you need to look at. First thing, look at the market. It is very clear, it is absurd to do things that are not, farming things that are not sellable. That you cannot sell within the place. You need to first do research. In farming, people do not do what we call business planning. When you talk of business planning, they say, do I need as a farmer? What I need is to have land, and I go into what I need to do. What I've seen Chigoye is doing and is successful. No. First, do research. Do research, know what is now the market needs. The trends keep changing. Today we are in coffee, trending. Today we are in passion fruit, trending, and others. So what trends or what works here in Kampala does not work in Karamoja in terms of market as you a commercial farmer. Because I believe in that I need to do an enterprise that if I start to market, I start from the next door. That if it's a tomato, I'm selling it a tomato, I can sell it. When I ask the next neighbor, can say, okay, give me 2. You get my point? Do things that can sell. That's the research. Then another thing you need also to do some bit of knowing. Tomato is doing well in terms of marketing. But when I look at where I'm going to put it, does it work? The pH there, does it support the tomato growing? The requirement it needs? Oh, that is research. And there we need to engage the experts. We are there to guide you. So that we know, you go into something knowing that when I plant it, the soil supports it. So that at the end of the day, you don't say, Samanya, I didn't know. Some crops, they don't grow anywhere. They are selective in terms of requirements where they, however much as we go further, I will show you how you can at least force it to do better there. All that also research. So in a brief, what I'm driving at, you farmer out there, if we are to go into farming as a business, first do business planning, do research, and know what has market. Okay, let me give an example of a tomato, because I've been talking about tomato. Tomatoes Okay, they perform, they do better, they give quick money, but not every type of tomato. There are some tomatoes that has short shelf life. The customers out there, they don't like them. The money makers, they are very good big size, but they last short and they die. But when you plant, say an example of Asila, an example of Aso, they take long in a shelf life that attracts a person like from Juba to come and buy and then take it to Juba. And then by the 2 days it takes on the road and the trading period can now cover by the tomato's life. You get my point? So my point is you do the research. As a commercial farmer, there are 4 principles I always tell people to do. The first principle is, that's my principles, feed the soil if it's to feed you. What we are talking about today is farming. And farming, if you don't have soil, you cannot farm. However much we do soilless farming, for those who are in town, we have your package, yes, but it has a limitation. You cannot do soilless farming and you feed 1,000 people or more at a go. It can cost you a lot of money which you may not have. But if we use the soil we are gifted that we have, you can perform. So feed the soil if to feed you. So farmers out there, if you don't feed the soil will not feed you. Give it nutrients it needs, the NPK it needs, and then if you plant one, say a bean, let's try as much as possible to produce more beans, more seeds of beans against one bean you planted, so that you can get good production at the end. So feed the soil. You can decide to use the either way, the organic way or inorganic way. As we come along, I will tell you that some of the big markets we have, they need organics. They need organics, and their prices are a bit high. So as a commercial farmer out there, look at this side of the coin. And who has been in this for so long, I know that even the profits out of it is spam, because a lot of costs you cut because you use what is local available there to produce the chemicals, the pesticide, to produce the fertilizers and the etc. Then too, you look at the seed I talked about earlier, the type of seed, improved seeds, but not GMOs, genetically modified. They have some other side effects, but improved ones. They are there. The also I'm talking about in tomatoes, in coffees, those KRs and etc. They are good, they are tested, and they can do better. So the selection of seeds, good variety is also a key. If you are to look at, you need to look before even going. You are now seated in your room there, writing what you need to do before going to the garden. This is the high time to know the type of seed you are going to plant, where you are going to get it from. There are a lot of bichupuli, manipulated seeds on the market. Bajja kutomeza. Sit down. We are here to help you. Call us. I'm talking about number 2, which is the improved seed. 3, if some of us, we are I believe in integrated farming, a system of farming we are doing here at Katenda Lambe, which when you look at even where I'm standing, we have animals there, we have crops here, we have trees down there, we have fish, so many. So a system of farming that each project can assist the other in terms of what comes here as a waste, like any poultry droppings, like any cows, cow dung, can also be good for now for the crop. If you decompose it, you make compost, and so we need some bit of animals. we need animals that can give us a kind of manure to use. Not every time that you as a commercial farmer you need to buy what to use, what to feed the soil. No, because we say that every end of the season we need to look at the soil, and then we do every end of the season, every 6 months, feed the soil. As you eat the lunch, you need to eat the what? The supper. Then the next day you need to eat lunch, you eat the supper. I'm talking about the main meals. Leave along the breakfast and all that. It is the same thing with the crop. If you want to produce, to go in serious production. So make sure that you look at the soil. Is the main factor. So look at the animals, and you should improve the breeds of animals that can give you good production in terms of milk, in terms of eggs, in terms of putting on weight. If you are to look for slaughters, those to slaughter, all those. So number 3. Now number 4, it is the big factor. We always talk about climate change. The climate has changed. For those of you who know Uganda, who are senior citizens of Uganda, you know our season is March, April, August, September. Look at your last season. How was it? And tell me. It has changed. So we also need to change our mind. We need to look at a kind of farming whereby you don't rely on the weather, the rains that come. We are blessed. Where we live, we have sources, streams of water that runs and go to the lake, to the river. Tap that water, irrigate. Number 4, if you're a commercial farmer, don't tell me that I didn't farm, I didn't produce because I don't have water, because there is no rain. And it is better because now we are going to look at the market. How do we deal with the market? The fluctuation is in the market sector. This is a technique. You produce when others are sleeping. That's the only technique you need to do. I forced my coffee to flower during this dry season. Others are crying. You see them on TikTok, on news, everywhere. Coffee is drying up. Mine is because I do water. I use what God gave you. Use the water. By the way, things are funny. People are crying, their coffee is drying, their matoke, whatever crop you are doing commercially there is drying. But just a few meters, not even 100 meters, you have a stream of water. But you are crying. Of just one pump, which goes for 1.2 million. What is dying is millions of money. And we don't think of that. So my last point is watering. Those are the 4 principles. If you master those, you will be in very good production. Whatever selection you have made for the crop that is good for you there, that has market, you'll be.
But even the best laid farming plan eventually meets the market. And that is where things can become, a little bit unpredictable. Now, after the break, we look at how farmers can respond to fluctuating prices without allowing one difficult season to undo all their work. Remember that we are proudly brought to you by Bukola Chemical Industries Limited and YPA for the expert opinion. Don't go away. Welcome back from the break. So glad that you are still with us. Now, at certain times of the year, you may find 4 or even 5 pineapples selling for only 10,000 shillings. It may sound like a bargain to the buyer, but behind that price is a farmer who has spent months paying for input, labor, and transport. Now, that begs the question, where does that leave the farmer? Mr. Chigwe helps us understand why prices fall, how farmers can prepare for the market changes, and what they should consider before committing to commercial production.
We gave examples of pineapple. Let me just go to what I experience now. I'm a passion fruit grower. I have 5 acres of passion fruit. June back, I was selling a bag, the Kawanda type, those big purple, a bag, what we call 3/4. We 1 sack full plus a half sack of the other one down. We join here with that heap, 1.5 sack in brief. We call it 3/4. I was selling it in June. I was selling it at 500,000. But as we talk now, it is at 150, 120. The prices has gone down. From March, April, May, June, it was good. But now it has gone down. Those are fluctuations we are talking about. But what you need, first of all, you need to know if we have a lot that is produced have come on the market or has come on the market, how can you deal with it? You do the addition, a value addition. Me, what I'm doing now, I'm now turning, maybe next time, I'm making juice out of the passion fruit I'm getting. The market has cut off because there is a lot on the market. Some of my customers have, and me who is getting it from Masaka to here, you add on transport and all that. By the time I look at the unit cost per one, I see I don't work. So what I'm now doing is to do value addition. Then two, another thing, this is now for a biennial crop. What I mean by biennial crop is a crop that is in the field for almost half a year to 1 year. You get it? So it stays there for a long time. But we have seasonal crops. For those of you who want to go into this by seasonal crops, like tomatoes, that you only need 5 to 6 months and you are done. What you need to do is to do timing. By this time, you would be doing your nursery bed. By it would be having 2 leaves by now. So by 15th of August, you are in the garden planting. You water halfway, then the rain covers you halfway. So that by the time others are planning to go to the garden to plant during August, September, for you are flowering. So by the time they are flowering, for you are in the market, you are few on the market there, you take the advantage. And by the time they come on board, for you, you are getting out of the market. You are done, you have collected your money. So that is how you need to farm when others are. So the good thing, we can utilize people who always sleep. Some of our farmers sleep a lot. For you as a wise farmer out there, commercial farmer, you wake up. When are they asleep? During the drought season. Our farmers, they don't want things, hardships. They don't want such. For you, wake up, go and start farming. So that if we had time, I'll take you through what we do, like in tomatoes or seasonal crops. We do, during this time, we do potting. We farm our things in pots, in polypots. We put a very good mixture of soil and then we plant our seeds inside there. So they keep growing even during the nursery bed. By the time you transfer them to the seed bed, they will not also get any shock because they are in what? The seedling is in a pot. You just cut the pot, you put with that very soil it has been in, than the person who does sunken nursery bed, where you need to pluck, to uproot the thing. Some of the root is cut, and then you plant it here, you do the shading. All those are costs for us. We, as commercial farmers, we avoid. Because here you don't need to do the shading again, so that I train it, hardening it to nurture it to the environment where it has gone. So, those are all techniques. So in such a way, you people out there, those fluctuations can be overcome using such. Value addition. Then 2, 3 now. Make sure that you, in marketing, we have 3 things we need to consider if we are to do good marketing. 1, you need to have a volume. Some of us, we fail to get market because we have, like now, if you have 1 burger in Masaka and the market is in Kampala, will you bring that back? However much it is, of how much? Because it's only 1. The transport from Masaka to Kampala will consume halfway the bag. Then at the end of the day, you see it's better to sell it from Masaka. You get it? But if you grow, I have tomatoes, you have tomatoes, we can, as a team, get the 1 million shared in 10 people. Each one get 10, 100,000. And then we manage the truck that can take 100 boxes to Kampala, to Nakasero, and they will sell. If you have passion fruit, you can hire as a team. Then even negotiation powers. As a team, you can negotiate and have good prices. But if you are one, because you don't have powers. But if I hear you are the first choice from Masaka, okay. Even the one mentioning a company from Masaka, we have coffee we are selling. Okay, but why are you come to the office? We talk. You feel you have powers to negotiate. So people out there, Nasuwa Mukanga, Suwa Bukabukuku. Gone are the days people used to brew beers, local brew, Mwenge Muganda. But those pots where they used to brew beers, if you say, let me use mine, you may find that your brew will be spoiled. Your local thing. You can get from the neighbor the good container and then you brew. My point I'm driving at is that you, to get out of that, work as a team.
Low prices are definitely frustrating, but Mr. Chigoye's advice also brings us back to a question that should be answered, much earlier. Was there a clear market plan before production began? So before anyone invests in seed, livestock, land, or equipment, what must they first put in place to give the business a real chance of succeeding? Here is Mr. Chigoye with the essential steps to take before entering commercial agriculture.
I would advise a fresh graduate to join agriculture. But after getting some knowledge, there are principles we need to do. Farming, you don't need a lot of money, as people are saying, if you know what to do. It needs just little money, and provided you have where to start from. It becomes expensive if you don't have land where to grow. But most of the people we are living with, they have land, they even sell to go in town and buy border. But the land, I'm sure, most of our commercial farmers, they have. If you have land, it's okay. Even if you go into, say, first thing, nursery bed making, it is marketing that. If you go in maybe layers, and you can mobilize money, layers can also do. Let me just give you an example, people out there, because I'm talking to commercial. If you are a commercial farmer and you are going into farming, crop side, maximum you need an acre. That's, you say no or yes, that's it. Then if we are going to animals, say layers, you need minimum 500 layers, commercial layers. If we are to go to if we are to go to poultry, because I train urban farming as a business. That's why I always talk about chicken, because chicken is part of urban farming, and you can do it from a very small piece of land. Today, I have 500 birds, I told you. I get a profit 1.2 after every 18 days. Profit 1.2. I get 14 trays a day. Calculate. And for you who knows, who are in poultry business, you will tell me right or wrong. I'm getting 14 trays every 14 days, 18 days, 1.2, and that is the least. 1 point. Is that not business? 18 days times 2, a month has 30 days, 31 days. That's almost 2 point something if you have 500 birds profit. And raising 500 birds, it's a side job. It's not what I do or what they do on a daily basis. They have cows, they have coffee. I said yes, but you should know that if I'm to do farming, I need to know that when I bring, say for example, chicken, there is a brooding period. It is what we need to do during the brooding period. I need to know what type of feed do I need to feed during that time. Then when they are growing, that's growers. There is a feed called growers mash. I need to know how do I mix that grower. Do I need to keep buying from the commercial sellers to take all my profit there, or I need to do it at the farm? Okay, I'm going into this. What other alternative can cut the costs? If in the ingredients I mix maize and I have 2 acres, why can't I plant? We are going to the season. Why can't I? That's why I said there is a lot of planning we need to do. Before going into the project, first sit down. If I don't have capital, as you are claiming, first think of what makes it capital. What makes it capital is the ingredients I put in. The coffee asks, why can't you grow coffee if you have land? Is the maize bland? Why can't I grow maize? And by the way, the biggest percentage we put in the feed is the maize bland and the broken. And even sunflower plus soya. All these we are talking about people out there. We can grow them. Why can't I first sit down that I'm going to keep poultry in the next season? So they miss this season plant and I stock my feed, then I start. Why do you rush? That's why I told you earlier that in doing farming, we need to don't avoid the pain. Ask, we give you the information. Me, I know what a chick can eat until 2 years. You sell it as a off-layer. And you cannot tell me that or deceive me that I can go wrong. No way.
The market may be beyond an individual farmer's control, but preparation is not. So understanding demand, calculating costs, and identifying potential buyers early can make a whole difference between simply producing and actually running a viable farming business. We will take a very short break, but when we return, we will also have today's farming tips from Bukola and expert insight into the business of goat farming. You can also follow the program live on your TV and join the conversation on X. Don't go away. Welcome back. Now, before the break, we discussed the thought that should come way before commercial farming and the market realities that farmers must prepare for. Now, it is time to get practical. Coffee is still one of Uganda's most important agricultural commodities, but a productive coffee farm begins with getting, the fundamentals right. Mr. Chigoye takes us through the process step by step, from the decision made before planting to the practices that give a young coffee garden a better chance of thriving.
To start with the coffee, our first thing, you need to have this place where you are going to put the coffee. That is one. Then two, you need preparation of that soil. The preparation means you need to remove all the stumps that is there, because today you're going to have coffee. But two, you need also to take into consideration, am I going to have coffee alone, or we are going to also to put other crops? What I advise? I advise you to have coffee for cash and also have food. So look at the spacing, which is preparation done. Now, digging holes. The holes is determined by the spaces which are determined by the first thinking. Am I putting it as a pure stand, or it is going to be having intercrops, which is food crops? If you are to intercrop, put in food crops. So the spacing, they must do, spacing should be 10 by 10. 10 feet apart. From one line to another line, 10. From one crop to another crop, 10. There are other experts advise spacing. They advise there is 10 by 3, which is the Brazilian type, but there you need to know that you are going to feed times 3, because where you would put 450 plants, you are going to end up having 1,300, 1,060, 1,000. It depends. So you are almost timing it by 3. So even the feeding is going to be times 3. There is also 10 by 5, there is 10 by 6, there is 8 by 8, all that. But I would advise 10 by 10, because this is a perennial crop which is going to grow 7 years, 9 years, to the time you cut it and it crops again to give you new shoots. So by 7 years, it will be longer, 10 feet, and it is allowed to live only 3 or 4. So if each has 10 feet plus, by the end, if we did 8 by 8 or 10 by 6, we'll be having a forest. And the factor remains constant. Every crop needs light to put on flowers and the fruiting. The light issue is the key. So give it enough space. Even you working in. Then if we are going to have intercrops, as we said, we will make 12 feet or 15 so that you can have some other intercrops. We need to look at the source. Must do. Where are you getting the planting material? We have seen the garden, you have prepared the garden, you have put anything. What are you going to plant? You know very well that there are good planting materials in coffee, the types of coffee. We have Robusta and Arabica. Those are the two. But of these two, we have Coronis. Those are the colonel coffee. KR 1 to 10, A, B, D. There is a, for us in Masaka there, we are more in a D. The coffee D, cutting D, which puts a lot. So you may intend to plant D, you go to a supplier and it gives you a different type. You get it? So get from certified, used to be Uganda Coffee Development Authority certified nurseries, or to a reliable source. Go to a reliable source and get a type that is good for you. Then you plant. Then management. So it's another thing. In the management, manually. During planting, after digging holes, it is said at least you leave 3 months. And you put in manure, you leave 3 months, you plant. But if you have like the one I told you earlier, that organic manure produced by soldier flies, you don't need to leave for 3 months. You put in, you plant that very day. It is for it is cold, it is cool, it does, and it's more nutritious. You have that, you spam. You have a coffee that can start fruiting within the first 1.5 years. It has started putting on the coffee. So that is manuring, I mean the management, manuring, then spacing, weeding, pruning, all these. You know, these are plants that keeps on putting suckers. Every node, they put a sucker. You know, they are fond of putting so many suckers, especially when you do very good agronomy down there. They'll feel good and they'll keep giving more shoots. Remove and leave only what is enough for the plant. If you feed and you don't remove the suckers, you'll be feeding the suckers. And the suckers will not grow into fruits. You need berries. And when you leave them, they grow berries, they will just disturb you, disorganize. You have a disorganized garden. We only need these 4 until 7 to 9 years when you cut and allow more shoots, fresh garden. So that's what management we need. Then when you are, another must do is when you see that they have overgrown, in the language we call them the trees that has like a kind of heart, as if thing, so they are no longer producing enough. You cut that one. Then you allow a shoot to come and replace what you have cut. We call it pruning. But in the pruning and the suckering, you don't desucker the whole plant. Leave at least one, we call it a breather. The one we just help this one as they put shoot. If you cut it whole during the drought like this, the stem will just dry up. We call it stamping. So you only stamp, remove and leave one for the plant to breathe and then shoot again. So every season, make sure that you feed your garden. The previous season, what you gave was taken away. That's why you had that bumper season. Don't think that that very manure you gave is going to give you again this season. So every 6 months, make sure that you do give it. If you have cow dung, at least for the cow dung is exceptional. It can stay in the garden for 2 years if you can give what is enough. But for the seasonal, for the NPKs we buy from the shops, they work only 1 season. So make sure that we put every season to boost the production. And when do we put the manures? We put at the start of the season and at the end of the season, not in the middle of the season because it will be taken away, washed away by the rain. So it's better. And the application is digging a trench around, and even the trench is determined by the size, the canopy of the tree. Dig where the canopy stops, that's where the trench will, not just near here when the canopy is very far. It is said and the research that where the canopy is, most hair roots is where they are now feeding from. When you put here, you are giving the dead, these big roots which don't feed. It is the other hairy roots that feed. So better put around there. So in briefly, that's the must do. Then harvest only beans that are red. It's a must do. Don't mix. In the market, in the Europe where we sell a lot of our beans, our berries, our FHU, they love quality beans. And the quality beans come from the red berries. The must-dos, look at the spacing, the management, the feeding in the soil, and the disease control at last. You need to look at we have these boilers, those misters that come and put holes and hide inside. those ones, they always touch these branches that bear berries. So make sure that if you find that have the scissors and you cut that is affected, you burn. You get it? If you have the wheat, uproot it and burn. Then during the drought, you make sure that you irrigate. If you're a commercial farmer, we are talking to commercial farmers, irrigate during the drought so that you can have coffee when others do not have. In fact, it is said that in an acre, you are supposed to get at least 35 bags of chiboko, kase. I mean, chiboko, not kase. Chiboko, those are dried what? Dried coffee. At least 35. But you viewers out there, how many bags do you get? I know some of you are getting 10. Some of you are getting 15. But you can get 35. So, how do you get 35? That's when you do all this agronomy we talked of. Mulch. Where it is mulched, you will not suffer with the drought. So those are things we need to do.
Good intentions alone will not deliver a good harvest. Farmers also need the right inputs used correctly and at the right time. Bukola is here with today's practical tips and solutions to help you give your crop the care that it needs. Let's take a look. Coffee growing tips with Bukola Chemical Industries Limited. It all begins with a decision made before the first hole is dug, choosing the right coffee variety for your location. Start with a variety suited to your area and altitude. Robusta coffee generally performs well in lower altitude areas, while Arabica is better suited to higher altitudes. Always obtain certified disease-free seedlings from a reputable nursery to reduce the risk of introducing coffee wilt and other diseases into the farm. Coffee performs best in deep, fertile and well-drained soil, ideally with a pH between 5.5 and 6.5. Prepare planting holes measuring approximately 60 centimeters by 60 centimeters by 60 centimeters. Then mix the topsoil with well-decomposed manure and humet before planting. Timing also matters. Plant at the beginning of the rainy season when the young seedlings have enough moisture to establish properly, and avoid planting during prolonged dry periods. Allow sufficient space between the plants. A spacing of approximately 3 meters by 3 meters is commonly used, although this may be adjusted to suit the production system. Proper spacing improves air circulation and reduces competition for sunlight, water, and nutrients. It can also help limit the spread of pests and diseases. Once the coffee is established, the work shifts to protecting the young plants and giving them the nutrients they need. Weed regularly to prevent unwanted plants from competing with the coffee for water, nutrients, and sunlight. Mulching can help suppress these weeds and retain soil moisture. Where chemical control is necessary, glufosan may be applied according to the product label and professional guidance. Fertilizer application should be guided by soil test results. Coffee benefits from soils rich in organic matter because they retain moisture and nutrients. Coffee benefits from soils rich in organic matter because they retain moisture and nutrients while supporting beneficial soil organisms. Sick bamboo biochar and humet can be incorporated to improve soil condition, while supergrain ratio 19 to 19 to 19 may supplement the crop's nutrient requirements, particularly during the vegetative state. From crops, we now turn to livestock and to an enterprise that continues to attract farmers across the country: goat farming.
I want to talk about kids. Usually, we face a lot of problems with kids. They are not very easy to manage. And for any farmer out there, this is the profit. It is very hard to find that your goat has grown from maybe 50 kgs and it is now 100 kgs. If it is 50 kgs, usually it will remain at 50 or 55. But this kid that is now 1 day or 1 week old, you will find in 6 months, it is 35 kilograms. You see, this guy here, if it is now 25, if it is now 5 kgs, in 10 years, in 1 year, in 6 months, you'll find it has grown. The weight has increased. So this is the profit. This is the business. Usually, why do we lose kids most often? The reason is one. We lose kids because they are tender, they are fragile, they are not easy to manage. Usually, if kids get sick within the first 3 days of their life, it is very hard to save them. The first 3 days of their life, it is not easy to save them. You see, so it is usually very, very impossible to save them. For example, if they are diarrheating a lot, if they have respiratory problems, it is very hard, especially when they are born in rainy season. Now, what do we do when the kids are born? What do we do when the kids are born? Immediately they are born. So here, there is an umbilical cord. You see this one has just been cut. You can see here. This umbilical cord is where we put iodine. We put iodine here. As soon as it is born, we put iodine here. Why do we put iodine here? We put iodine here because we want to make sure this thing clots very fast. If it clots very fast, it means it is not going to allow germs to enter. Remember, it is born to the ground, and the ground has the germs. And this guy is still fragile. It has been in the stomach, enjoying in the womb. So now it is still feeling heavenly, yet it is on earth. So we do what? First time, you do it very, very, very fast. You put iodine here, then you put iodine on the tongue. Because immediately, after 30 minutes is also, I think, a lot of time. 15 minutes, this guy is going to be up. It has been born, 15 minutes later, it is going to be up. And what does it do first? Suckling. And who has washed the udder? No one. So this guy is going to take in dirty germs. So what do? We put iodine on the tongue. Instead of running after its mother, catching it, then you put iodine or you wash. It will, after washing, it will again lie down and the place gets dirty. So Tugema, we prevent by putting iodine on the tongue and on the umbilical cord. These are two major entries of germs that will kill these goats. Even when you are vaccinated against Clostridius.
Now, what did we learn today? From planning before planting to finding a market and managing the farm itself, profitable farming requires fact-backed information or research, preparation, and the discipline to treat the farm as a business.